32-year-old Sharon Key is behind bars after stabbing her 1-year-old niece inside a hotel. At just before 11 p.m. on Tuesday the 19th of September, authorities responded to the Days Inn at 8300 Craig Street in Indianapolis, Indiana on reports of a stabbing. When officers arrived, they found a 1-year-old girl stabbed in the neck. She was rushed to Riley Hospital for Children in a critical condition. The stabbing left her with stitches in her ear and head and a fractured temporal bone, and she's expected to survive. The child's mother told police she was giving her son a bath when the stabbing happened, and that her sister Sharon fled the hotel room afterward. She laid her daughter down on one of the hotel beds after returning to the room from Burger King. As she was getting the bath ready for her son, she heard a commotion. The mother walked out of the bathroom and saw her sister holding a knife and her daughter bloody and screaming on the hotel bed. Sharon immediately told her sister the stabbing was an accident, and the child's mother applied pressure to the stab wound and called 911. She said that she ran downstairs to meet the medics and police out the front with her 2 kids, while Sharon fled from the hotel room. Surveillance video from outside the hotel corroborated the mother's statement to detectives. Several hours after the stabbing at around 2 a.m. on Wednesday the 20th of September, police found Sharon hiding in a large bush near the Days Inn. She had blood on her arms, hands and cell phone, and it appeared she was sleeping. In an interview with a detective, Sharon began to cry hysterically and said she would never intentionally hurt her niece. The stabbing happened after a pit bull dog grabbed a Burger King chicken sandwich from the hotel bed and ate it. She said she tried grabbing the dog to get a sandwich, then it growled at her. She said she got angry, took out a knife and tried stabbing the dog. The dog was running around the room and then jumped on the bed as she was trying to stab it, but she missed the dog and instead stabbed her baby niece. After the stabbing, an animal control officer responded and took the dog away from the hotel room. The child's mother told police that Sharon had drug, mental health and temper issues. The woman told police she was letting Sharon stay with her family at the hotel and that she had been dropped off the morning before the stabbing. Sharon is charged with criminal recklessness and is held at the Marin County Jail with bond yet to be set. She's scheduled to appear in court on the 22nd of September. Sharon has been in and out of jail more than 20 times over the last decade. Court records show she pleaded guilty to stabbing another woman with a box cutter during a fight at a gas station in August of 2020. She was released from the Department of Corrections in March for that crime. The investigation into the matter continues. 42-year-old Colby James Lee is behind bars for fatally shooting his partner 40-year-old Elisa Marie True following an argument. At around 8:50 p.m. on Tuesday the 19th of September, authorities responded to a house at 2323 Fox Avenue in Fort Wayne, Indiana after receiving a 911 call to report a shooting. Police said that Colby made the call to dispatchers and told them there was a woman dying here. "I shot her," he said. When police arrived at the property, they heard a man saying "I'm putting it up," before Colby walked outside with his hands on his head. He then admitted to the crime again, telling police "I just shot her," before being detained. When officers entered the residence, they found Elisa unresponsive with a gunshot wound just outside the bedroom where the child was sleeping. She was pronounced dead at the scene. While interviewed at the police station, Colby told officers he was high on meth and that he and Elisa got into an argument, saying she just got done screaming and was walking away from me, and I turned around and shot her. He told officers that Elisa was not posing any threat to him at the time, saying he was angry. Colby is charged with murder and is held at the Allen County Jail without bond. The investigation into the matter continues. 2 women and a man are behind bars after an infant almost died after being bitten dozens of times by rats. At around 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday the 13th of September, authorities responded to a home at 1606 Linwood Avenue in Evansville, Indiana after David Shaunaborn called 911 to report his infant son was covered in blood and his fingers appeared to be chewed off. At the home, police found a bassinet filled with blood and rat footprints left in the blood. Medics transported the child to an Indianapolis hospital for treatment. The boy sustained at least 50 rodent bites to his forehead, cheek and nose, though the worst of the wounds were found on the toddler's right hand, where the fingers had been missing flesh from the top of them, leaving the bones exposed. The infant required a blood transfusion due to the amount of blood lost. Investigators said that David lived at the home with his wife, Angel Shaunaborn, and her sister Delana Thurman. Angel and David have 3 children, aged 6 and 3 years old, and a 6-month-old infant, whereas Delana has 2 children aged 2 and 5 years old. They'd all moved into the home of David's cousin. David and his cousin reportedly reached an agreement where they could live in the house rent-free, but in return they'd have to take care of the house. David told police he realised in March that the home had a major rat infestation. He put out traps and other bait boxes, but that wasn't enough. In a message to Terminix Pest Control, David said the house was completely overwhelmed with rats. A Terminix employee saw garbage bags in the yard and explained that would exacerbate the rodent issue. Delana told police that on the 1st of September, her 5-year-old daughter and David and Angel's 6-year-old daughter informed a teacher that their toes got bitten by mice while they slept. Delana said that Department of Child Services went to the home on the 5th of September, and she said that the marks on the kids' toes were probably just scratches from the bed frame. DCS went over a safety plan with the family and said they would return on the 14th of September. The family has past dealings with the DCS, including a claim from 2022 that a child was hurt because of lack of supervision. Additionally, there was also a claim that David had physically abused one of the children in June of 2023. Separately, a behavioural health service called Maglinga Home-Based Services worked with the family twice a week since the 15th of April. The case manager assigned noticed the home had trash all over the place, animal feces on the ground, dirty dishes in the sink and foul odours emitting from the kitchen. Over time, however, the situation began slowly improving. The case manager went to the home 4 days before the child went to hospital. On the 14th of September, Angel was charged with 6 counts of neglect of a dependent, David with 3 counts of neglect of a dependent, and Delana with 2 counts of neglect of a dependent. All 3 were booked into the Vanderburg County Jail. David and Angel are being held on $10,000 bonds, while Delana's bonds been set at $2,500. The 5 children were removed from the home and placed into the care of guardians.